One.
Hello?
Hello, everybody. It is another WXR, and right now we are fresh off the pay-per-view. But before we get into that, we are first going to go through Raw, SmackDown, the pay-per-view itself, and then any other stuff during the week. I assume will fall at that point.
I think SmackDown, then other stuff, and then the pay-per-view. I think is the best idea. What do you guys
All
think?
right, then we will do that.
I don't know.
And so, as you can tell, joining me are the usual band of misfits, Chris, aka the Mole.
I'm
We're
here.
a couple of misfits, not a
I'm
couple
here.
of
As is someone's
miswits.
PS3 being turned on.
Or off. I don't. Oh, wait, yeah, that would. It doesn't make noise when you turn it off. It just goes.
Yeah. Someone's turned it on.
Yeah.
My guess is a certain person called Jimmers.
No, he's gonna watch the recap show, so he can tell it now.
No,
yeah.
that was my air conditioner. I was just turning it off.
Oh,
It has the same beep as the PlayStation.
Don't say
It's
Vita.
so-
Don't say Vita. Don't say Vita.
Sony air
You
conditioner.
just said Vita. Now I'm jimming you.
No, you've turned him. You've hit his off switch.
It's good we finally found one. Next time he's reading a list, I'm just going to key up Jim. Yeah, Vita.
He's
It's
been
my word of
conditioned.
power.
Yeah.
I'm going to scream it like Shazam. Vita!
Like he just drops down, like onto the wherever he is. He just falls over asleep.
Yeah. Powers down like an android.
Yes. All right, and as you heard, there was James Phoenix, and also somewhere out there is Marcus Shadow.
Can I speak now?
Yes. I don't know.
Yay!
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Thank you, episode 1.
Wow.
So what happened on Raw this week?
Not a whole lot.
Well, it was the go home Raw, so there were a lot of last minute conversations before the pay-per-view event. There, John Cena has to team with Roman Reigns, and Orton and Kane have to get along for a tag team match. Ooh, that's original.
Well, say I actually enjoyed Raw this week.
It was okay. It wasn't bad.
Like Dean Ambrose cutting a promo and then suddenly Seth Rollins, Orton, and Kane just appear behind him like fucking meerkats and take him the fuck out. That was a great promo.
I still haven't gone back to watch that yet.
Yeah. Well, who didn't love The Miz being like, okay, keep the bro kick away from WWE's #1 asset, the moneymaker, and pointing at his face, and then basically he's like, you know what? For my legion of fans, I'm gonna have the moneymaker on display for the entire match, and his face is all that's on the Titantron for the entire match. And the matchup itself was pretty damn fucking awesome. That was a great match.
That was pretty good. I actually enjoyed the Alicia Fox and Cameron v. Nikki Bella match. It was a pretty decent match. Nikki Bella was actually pretty good. And Mole, what the hell was Alicia Fox's finishing move?
I don't know. I will say the matchup itself. I didn't like the match, but I did have down. I loved the build up to it with Stephanie manipulating Nikki and stuff with the whole going into the whole Bree storyline, which is kind of cool. I thought they wasted it with Cameron, but they could have had Alicia Fox and then another diva that's better than Funkadactyls. But still, that was pretty cool.
Wouldn't that be any of them?
Yeah, any of them. Bring back Moppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moppy! Sorry.
Moppy is a better WWE diva than the Funkadactyls combined.
Oh, man.
Pretty sure Katie Vick is a better WWE diva than the Funkadactyls combined.
Well, I will say, may Moppy rest in peace. Future Hall of Famer.
There you go.
That's what they should have done when they killed Moppy. They should have had Raw kick off with the opening of Moppy and the Age and had all the wrestlers like they did with Owen Hart, Benoit, and stuff mourning its loss with tears and shit. Like Mark Henry could read one of his poems and stuff.
That would be a little too funny.
If they did that, then Mark Henry's son would have had to come out to read the eulogy.
And?
Yeah. The hand. Moppy's eulogy read by Hand Henry.
Yeah, but I do think that would have made that whole thing much better. I mean, and some people would be like, but that would insult what they did with the honoring of dead people. But they did it with Vince, and he wasn't dead. So why not let Moppy have his moment?
No, they tried to do it with Vince, but the show they were out to do it on Vince, somebody else kind of interfered with that.
To be fair, they still did a tribute to thanking Vince McMahon and all the stuff to do with Vince and mourning him. It was like a week or two before the Benoit thing.
But it couldn't have, because Vince had just blown up the week before.
I thought it was at least a week in between, because for like over a week or two, people were talking about it must have been Paul London, and then Vince finally came out and revealed what happened.
No, I believe there might have been a tribute thing on SmackDown that week. But the Raw Monday night, Vince blew up on the limo Monday night, and it was supposed to be the following Raw was supposed to be the tribute memorial show of Vince McMahon. It was the very next Raw for the tribute memorial show after everybody had come to terms with what had happened in storyline. But they were going to launch it, but they had to nix it. It was a big special 3-hour Raw, but then they had to nix it because Benoit, and so that ended up being that. So Vince had to immediately can that storyline and reveal he was alive, of course, which we already knew anyway.
Fair enough.
So I think you're right. I think on SmackDown they were doing some Vince memories and things. I think you're right about that.
I'm kind of hoping that they like redo that Vince storyline in one of the games or something, so we could see like maybe what they were gonna do.
That would be awesome.
Actually, they've stated what they were gonna do is it was gonna end up being Vince's will would be read a couple of weeks later, and it left the whole WWE company to Vince's illegitimate son, who would have been revealed to be Mr. Kennedy had Kennedy not frickin' tried to kill Randy Orton and got himself fired. So it would have been revealed to Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy would have been the authority figure and in charge, and he would have had a feud with Triple H for control of the company.
Gotcha.
Mr. Kennedy
Anderson.
Kennedy.
Mr. Anderson.
Welcome back.
But yeah, back onto Raw.
Yeah.
I will say, I didn't like for Damien Sandow as a Sonic worker.
Is that what it was this week?
Yeah.
I thought the bit was kind of funny.
The bit was funny. Adam Rose saved it, obviously Adam Rose, but the fact he was dressed as a Sonic worker, I felt didn't work, because all the other ones outfits he's done have been a tribute to the area he's in, and that one was just commercialism.
Well,
an ad for Sonic, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, well,
Capitalism, ho.
WWE needs to make their money somehow.
That's
They're obviously not making their money from wrestling, so they got to make it elsewhere.
This is true.
But I thought it was funny, where they had a Sonic worker come in delivering food, and then Sandow walks in, or Sandow rolls in. He's on roller skates, if you can imagine that one, Rick. In a Sonic uniform. He's like, "Oh no, I got this. And he takes it, and he's about to basically steal the Sonic food, and then that's when Adam Rose and the Rosebuds come in, and they have this tug of war of Adam Rose like, "It's mine." He's like, "No, I'm going to take this." "No, it's mine." "No, I'm going to take this." Back and forth. And finally he does the thing of he pulls and then lets go, so Sandow goes rolling past him. It was kind of hilarious. I enjoyed that sketch.
Yeah, I enjoyed the sketch once Adam Rose appeared, but before that I was like, oh, come on, I liked him dressing as stuff to do with the area. That's kind of funny to me.
That is funny.
But it was still fun.
Indeed. But the big announcement on Raw.
I really wanted to do this for this entire time. Jim?
Yes?
According to Wikipedia, the Vince McMahon segment took part on June 11th. Vince didn't appear back on Raw till 2 weeks later with June 25th's Raw. Booyah! In your face. Raw, June 18th, he was not there. In your face. How does that feel, Jim? You have tasted your own medicine and it is bitter.
Fair enough.
Join us next week on WXR, where we will have a memorial for James Phoenix.
You already tried that. I resurrected, remember?
Unfortunately.
Yes, but That time you were blown up in a car. This time you were struck down by Wikipedia. That is your kryptonite.
No,
Hoist with
but
his own petard.
yeah.
Exactly.
I did mention to Rick I was going to do that once. I had to do it once. But yeah, the Triple H thing was kind of interesting on the ways. Like, Kane is just the pawn, but he's our pawn. Then later on he says to Kane, no, you're part of our plan B, or whatever the fuck it was. And it's like, wait, so how come to Kane, Randy Orton's plan A, he's plan B? But to Randy Orton, you're calling Kane a pawn. If Kane literally, I was expecting Kane to have seen the footage and face turn or fucking, you know what I mean? It's like, don't call him a pawn.
Yeah, well, I can also tell you one thing, because I noticed something here online. I noticed that there was a tweet went out shortly after Battleground that apparently plans A and B failed, so Paul Heyman is bringing Plan C to Raw tomorrow night.
Huh. But I thought we saw Plan C, Nation.
Ah!
Yeah,
pretty much.
I am going to laugh my ass off if Brock beats Cena for the title and then Seth Rollins comes in and fucking Money in the Bank's Brock.
That would be hilarious.
I actually, like I said, I will come into that later, but when we talk about future and stuff, I kind of want Brock to actually get the title. Not because I'm a massive Brock fan. I'm not, but he's fresh off the streak, kind of. And by fresh, I mean like 6 months away. But still, his last storyline was ending the streak, so he's pretty hot right now. And B, if you did that and then he dethrones Cena with champion, he is a massive heel, ready to go forward to have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble and win WrestleMania and dethrone Brock, which would make Roman Reigns a fucking huge fucking face in terms of a massive push.
Yeah, because not only would he A, beat Brock Lesnar, B, defeat the champion to get the world championship, he would defeat the man who broke the streak at WrestleMania. That would basically cement Roman Reigns' career right there.
It would.
And that would make Edge cry a little bit, because it would be Roman Reigns who would cement the spear as the greatest finishing move of all time.
As much as I don't like him, what about Goldberg and Rhino?
Yeah, that was pretty much
No, because Reigns would use the spear to basically defeat the finishing move that ended the streak. That in kayfabe would make that move the best finishing move of all time. Just like right now, the F5 is the best finishing move of all time.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Goldberg used the spear to dethrone Hulk Hogan when the NWO had taken over WCW.
I can't believe you're saying. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm defending Goldberg.
Yeah, whether or not you like Goldberg, I think in a lot of ways. Well, I mean, it was one of his 3 moves, so it kind of it had to be immortalized by him.
He had one move I forgot. Jackhammer, spear. What's the third one?
I counted his entrance as a move
Oh yeah, kick to end careers.
Yeah.
Spitting sparks.
Yeah.
He had a taunt.
Yeah.
And I'm kidding. Like I said, I don't like him, but I'm still giving props where props due with Goldberg. In my opinion, when I hear spear, I still think, as much as I like Edge, out of all the ones to use the spear, Edge is my favorite. I always think Goldberg with spear.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Fair enough. Yes.
Yes. So speaking of things that happened on Raw, we also saw apparently a pointless segment where John Cena, on his way to the ring for his match, gave Ric Flair the World Heavyweight Championship. Which really mattered not, because between then and Battleground, he took it the fuck back.
He gave him to look after.
No,
keep that forever.
Yes, he did. He actually said, if you heard it, because he turned around to Flair and handed it to him, and Flair was going to give it back to him, and John Cena was like, no, keep it, and just walked on down to the ring. So he actually told Flair to keep it.
But
and then come Battleground, John Cena walks out with both belts.
But did he say keep it forever? Could it be massively implied, keep it to look after for me for the rest of the night?
Right, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
He came out of it, not that much of a stretch.
Yeah, and as I said that night,
deceased. Unless Ric Flair passed away at the beginning of Battlegrounds, and WWE has decided not to tell anyone, and they decided to have Cena have the belt in honor of that, which I doubt.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said that night, Richter, I was like, if that's if that's how they're gonna whittle it down to one belt, I approve of that. The giving Flair the World Heavyweight Championship, kind of like how they gave like The Rock the Rumble Bowl belt. They gave DiBiase the $1 million belt. I'm like, yeah, I could see that belt going to Flair because he is the one that made that belt famous.
See, I disagree with it going to Flair.
Oh?
Flair made the original WCW title famous. The one with more that style is more Hollywood Hogan or Booker T. One of those two. Or maybe even one of those two I'd give it to.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yes, the big announcement on Raw this week.
I just picture him giving it to Booker T, and he's like, "Tell me he didn't just give me that."
Yes. So biggest one of the probably
Let me do this. Let me, Jim, shush.
Let Mole do this. This is his news he's excited for.
Jeff can do it if he wants, or Marcus can do it if he wants.
I'd like to because I've been trying to do it for the past 15, 20 minutes.
And he's excited about it before we started recording. But anyway.
But the big news on Raw this week, as if you've seen the tweets, you kind of know. Sting has been announced as the pre-order bonus for WWE 2K15. 2 generations of Sting.
Yep.
And the announcement was made with, I think it was either an orchestra or it was like a strings group playing his theme song wearing Sting face paint.
Yep. It was playing the orchestra.
Was it a full orchestra? I couldn't tell.
It was an orchestra playing his theme song, which was slightly funny at the time.
Yeah.
I only say it was slightly funny. I only say it was slightly funny at the time because I mentioned to you oh my god, it's Sting. This has to be Sting, and you're like, what the fuck? I know it can't be. This is just some orchestra, and I'm thinking it's his fucking theme song. It's Sting's theme song. It's like if you hear glass shatter, it's Austin.
Because I've never heard his theme song. I've never watched him wrestle.
Alzheimer's hand dropping a glass.
I would have been the same way had I been online when that segment aired, because I never watched WCW, so I wouldn't know Sting's theme song if I heard it playing.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen wrestle is on TNA, where they barely don't have theme songs. They have chicken scratch.
They have 8-bit remixes.
Yes.
I approve of 8-bit remixes.
Everything should have an 8-bit remix.
Yes.
How much you want to bet that Chroma Team game, if Sabata proves it'll have 8-bit Sentai theme songs?
Yeah, but I will say the Sting announcement was cool. Like Marcus said, 2 generations. You get Crow Sting and what some people refer to as Surfer Sting.
Surfer Sting. That's the one I remember from.
Oh, has it been confirmed what the 2 Stings are going to be?
Yes, there's a photo of it on the 2K15 Facebook.
Was there a 3rd Sting?
Surfer Sting, is that Ultimate Warrior Sting?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could argue if you're going in terms of just stuff WWE owns before someone makes the inevitable TNA jokes. You could also argue Wolfpack Sting, but who gives a shit about Wolfpack?
You could also argue Joker Sting, but again, doesn't own that.
I actually wouldn't mind having Wolfpack Sting as an alternate, the red and black. I think that'd be kind of cool because I always like that look for him.
That'd be interesting.
That's like his Darth Maul look. I always like that look.
Mm-hmm.
Superstar Fred. You can change his face paint to red.
That's true. I'll probably end up doing that.
Yeah, hopefully. Even better, they might just give you a Sting Superstar head, or character head.
That's what he just said.
No, he said Superstar Threads.
Yeah, I said threads to the color change, but I'll admit, I loved Surfer Sting, and I think that was the Sting that was also involved with Richter's favorite spot of all time, RoboCop.
Yeah, it was. Second favorite spot, but yeah.
Yeah. Personally, my favorite Sting was always Crow Sting, the black and white silent one that pointed with a baseball bat. And like I said, I'm totally taking that as my entrance this year in the game. If it's in now, I totally want to come out the rafters and just point at people with a baseball bat.
Well, I definitely think Crow Sting is better, but I remember before I had seen him when somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Sting," and I remembered what he used to look like, and I was like, "Huh?" And then I looked him up. I was like, "Whoa, that's very different."
It is. Which I will say that I give props to Sting for being that versatile, because he went from being like an Ultimate Warrior type, larger than life, very vocal superstar to being a guy that literally was that charismatic by not speaking and just pointing. Not many
Yeah.
superstars can pull that off, and I know Jim's probably going to insert a Jericho comment, but and like I said, not many people can pull off just coming out there and not speaking as a gimmick for years.
Undertaker.
He spoke, or had someone as a mouthpiece with him.
Yep. He did. By the
He
way,
did,
so-
but there was several years like after Bearer like pretty much retired and stuff, and several years where he would just come out and just do shit or just look at people. He would just not speak, and because he didn't need to. He was Undertaker. Once he showed up, you knew what the message was. It was get the fuck out of my yard, or I'm gonna tombstone your ass.
Kind
Richter,
of, yeah, but
Richter, I just gave you a link in the sidebar. I don't know if you've ever seen Joker Sting.
yeah, which I always, like I said, the thing, the Crow's thing as well. I also loved the symbolism behind it. Of he was that, like I said, that energetic, that vocal. Yet he'd taken black and white, something which, as he said, had destroyed his home, his organization, because of the NWO, and he was in mourning for the loss of WCW. And that's how he came back to feud with them and stuff. And I was like, that's genius. You don't get writing like that anymore. Nowadays, WWE would force it down your throat way too much. He'd be like, oh yeah, he's going to come out, and he'd be like, I'm mourning every week. He'd say the phrase, I'm mourning, #mourning.
Yeah.
That'd be on the back of his coat.
Shit.
No, the
Yeah.
baseball bat would say #mourning on it.
Yes.
And then John Cena would feud with him and be like, is that your morning wood? And he'd be like, it's an aluminum bat, you idiot.
Yeah. And then WWE would probably team in with Summer Rae and have the thing of morning sunlight or something
Yes.
as a tag team.
Oh, dude, I'd love to see him team with Summer Rae, just so she could get a Harley Quinn gimmick where she comes out with the face paint and shit. That'd be awesome.
Mr. Sting.
Yeah.
Mr. Crow.
Yeah. But like I said, it's cool Sting's in the game. I think that's pretty cool. He hasn't signed a WWE agreement yet, apparently, but apparently TK funded it, or 2K funded it, which that's cool.
It's like TK Thunder.
Yeah,
did?
but-
What?
From what I
Yeah.
understand, according to, I think Jim was the one that told me this, but apparently 2K spent like $200,000 to get Sting in the game.
That was Mole. How do you ever get us confused?
I always get people confused. I just remember someone said it.
That was
Makes
Mole.
me
Yeah,
confused if you're
I'm
trying
the
to
one with his own thoughts.
Ouch.
You're welcome, Jim.
What-
You're welcome.
Was it 200,000 moles? Is that what you said?
Yeah, one of the sites was reporting 200. Like I said, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I still like the idea that 2K was the one who funded Sting.
Although,
Because apparently he's not signed a contract, and he said he's not signed a contract.
although later that week, Jim read a tweet from, well, it was from Vince, wasn't it, Jim? If he said, could art imitate, or could life imitate art? So,
Why not? I
Vince-
worked for the limo explosion.
ooh. So apparently Vince has dropped a hint via tweet that perhaps Sting could be coming to WWE. But two things I'd love with Sting is, one, I'd love a superstar head because I'm assuming with the threads you can't change the color of the face paint, and I'd want to be able to change the color of his face paint. And two, and this is one that realistically could be in the game and I'm hoping for, is that if you take his entrance, you can choose the weapon you come out with, so it's not always the bat.
Nice.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Because I'd totally take that and come out with like a kendo stick. I think that'd be awesome.
I just want someone to point the trash can one-handed.
But I thought you had
Yeah.
to come out with a lantern.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
He's gonna point it at people.
Yeah, you have
Wait.
your own you have your own entrance. Back off mine.
Don't you know how this works? That's
Yeah.
his entrance. He's been using it for years.
I know, but I was kidding because I saw Bray Wyatt's entrance. Like, okay, with lantern, that's kind of cool. I may take that, and then I get, no, that's perfect for my gimmick. Okay, cool. Sting's in the game. I want to take that entrance. No, I'm taking that.
What I might do, if I do something similar to what I did in the previous years, and if I make like Attitude Era Shadow, that would be perfect for Attitude Era Shadow. And Richter, you remember my classic Shadow, the one with the purple and black tights? That looks kind of like Triple H.
Yes, we all remember him. You made him in not last year's game, but the year before.
Yeah, but Richter has seen the original one from the old game.
Warzone.
No, like the original like SmackDown games
Oh, okay.
when I created myself. Well, wasn't supposed to be myself, and then it evolved into me.
Poor bastard. He never saw it.
Fuck you.
Don't worry, he'll be back with Ultimate Shadow. That's when they redo it. Retcon that they're the same person.
Only if Ultimate Shadow can actually come down with the theme song of Ultimate Shadow.
The last thing I wanted to mention for Raw, and this is going to lead to me mentioning something for the pay-per-view because it's linked together, is Chris Jericho came out and Wyatt did stuff. I think it was Harper and Rowan tried to attack him in the ring. He slid out of the ring and was like, "Ha ha, suckers!" and started backing up the ramp. And then Bray Wyatt came out and cracked him across the back of the head, and then they did shit to him up on the stage. But
if you know what he means.
Yeah, that feud's just fucking annoying. It's dumb. It was repetitive. Jericho deserved better. And hopefully it's fucking over because what a twist! Jericho actually won the match.
Yep, that's why I said to you when we watched it, I was like, I don't like this feud. I just haven't liked that feud from the beginning.
Me neither.
I would have rather seen Miz v Jericho.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Wyatt had no business being there. When he first popped up, both Mole and I were like, what?
Hopefully, WWE realized that Bray Wyatt v Jericho wouldn't quite work. So maybe they decided to do that, and then SummerSlam will be Miz v Jericho.
For the Intercontinental title? That'd be interesting.
Well, I don't know, because as soon as Bray Wyatt showed up that first night, the crowd went into the "This is awesome" chant. So WWE's feedback on that was that people like this feud.
Yes, but we've already established multiple times in X-Pound canon that WWE fans are fucking stupid.
To be fair, they also started to chant "This is awesome" and stuff when he appeared to face Miz.
Yeah, they're blind sheep. They'll take any schlock that WWE puts out. We know this.
You're calling Jericho any schlock?
No.
You're calling Bray Wyatt any schlock?
I'm calling Jericho v. Bray Wyatt schlock.
Yeah, Jericho v. Bray Wyatt was horrible.
It was. It could have been good, but from the get-go, it felt like an afterthought, and the whole feud felt like an afterthought, which was bad.
Yep.
If I was Miz, I would have been pissed.
Yep.
Yep.
But
that's all
do you
I
have
had
anything
for
else for Raw?
No, that's all I had for Raw. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Did anybody watch SmackDown?
Or NXT.
Or NXT?
I watched both, but I didn't have anything down for it.
Fair enough. So I didn't watch SmackDown this week because I actually had to work this week.
Fair enough. Shall we move on to this evening's
stuff.
festivities?
What about other stuff?
Do we have other stuff?
Other stuff.
Total Divas started in the UK,
Oh, there you go.
which I actually wanted to talk about because, yes, we're way behind because this is the one right before WrestleMania, but I like it. I actually do kind of like Total Divas. It's pretty cool. Some of it seems a little fake, and why the hell are the Funkadactyls named differently to what they are on TV on that? I don't care. But we got, like I mentioned to them before we started to record, we got the origin of Eve Marie's hair turning red. We got Natalia's reaction to the Bellas coming back and then getting the WrestleMania slot. We had the Divas reacting to finding out the WrestleMania slot for Divas was now going to be a mixed tag. And then we had the Bellas literally in full outfit ready to go out for WrestleMania. Go out, get ready, come out. And as they're walking to go backstage towards the curtain, they peel back the curtain and they can see Cena in the middle of the ring. And they're like, wait, what? And that's how they find out their match has been cut. Which I was like, that's kind of dickish. But it was pretty good too. Like the Eve Marie hair story, Rick, was basically she got told by one of the women in charge that she had to go blonde. She had to have blonde hair because she looked too much like the Bellas, and the Bellas didn't like that.
Wow.
So she decided to dye her hair blonde. As she's dyeing it blonde, she really didn't like it. She even started to make comments like, I look like the Lion King. That's right. Apparently she thought her hairstyle made her look like an entire film. Let's not go there. But when she actually went, yeah, I look like Mufasa or something like that. And I'm like, but Mufasa didn't have blonde hair. But let's move on. His was more brown. Still, let's move on. But it did look sort of lion-ish, so I can understand why she did that. And then she said to the woman in charge, "No, I don't want full blonde." To the well, not to the woman in charge, the woman doing her hair. I don't want full blonde. And she's like, "Well, what do you want?" And she's like, "Well, I always think the Eve Marie character is meant to be like me. She's meant to be like a firecracker, for like what you call it, a Hispanic firecracker and stuff." And she's like, "So I want red. Make it red, like my red streaks I had in my hair when it was brown. Make it red." And that's how she got the bright red hair. Which the woman in charge said to her, "Okay, I'm gonna admit I like it. I really do like that hair. But next time, toe the line, or you're not gonna have a job around here often." Which, to be fair, that doesn't surprise me. WWE did that. If your hair's too close to the Bellas, you must change it because they want their divas to look different. And from what wrestlers who left the company reported, wasn't that why Test and various other wrestlers cut their hair short so it didn't look like Triple H's?
I think so, yeah.
But still, Total Divas, it gives you some of it's fake, but it gives you a look into the lives of what the divas actually have to go through, which it's actually kind of interesting. They go through a lot more than people give them credit to, or credit for, I should say, and it's pretty good. It helps boost the divas too, so I'm all for it. Total Divas started in the UK today.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else, Mole?
That was it.
Okay.
That was it for me.
Moving on to the pay-per-view, and I'll kick this one off because I actually watched the kickoff, so I'll just rattle through that really quick.
What about our host? I'm kidding.
He didn't watch anything.
Not really, no.
I know, but he could have at least said, "I didn't watch the pay-per-view. Marcus, take us away." Then it'd be his choice. You've taken his choice away from him. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech.
The only thing I saw was that $25 gift card if you order the network.
Okay, then. There was 2 matches and a lot of talking. First off, Christian came back for this pay-per-view to talk some more. Yay! He's on the panel for 2 pay-per-views in a row. Yeah, I love Christian. He's awesome. So the first match was Fandango versus Adam Rose, which really wasn't a match. It was a storyline squash match. Layla and Summer Rae came out with Adam Rose, as apparently they're #Rosebuds now. And very shortly after the match began, which is why I said this is pretty much a squash match, Layla and Summer Rae led the Exotic Express, which is the group name for the Rosebuds, around the ring, and Fandango cut him off and so, "What are you doing? You know, get out here, what are you doing?" Da, da, da. And then Layla slapped him with her right hand, and then Summer Rae slapped him with her left hand, and Adam Rose got out the ring, pulled him back in the ring, hit his finisher, 1, 2, 3. So yeah. Well, okay, no, he did a couple of moves and then did that, but for the most part it was a squash match. And after what's his face, Adam Rose got out of the ring, Layla and Summer Rae kissed him on both cheeks as they were going up the ramp. I kind of wish they'd actually let Adam Rose actually wrestle, because, yeah, this squash match after squash match after squash match, these matches that are not really matches, they're kind of getting old. And it's like, I understand it's for storyline, but can't you be a little more inventive than the same fucking thing every time?
It's because it's getting him over.
You can get him over by having him actually legitimately kick Fandango's ass.
You could, but still. It was a pre-show thing, and it was also they're trying to get Adam Rose over, which it is working. Which that's kind of cool. It's like when Brock Lesnar first debuted in WWE. For like a month or 2, he didn't actually fight anyone. All he did is come out and then hit a finisher on people.
Yeah.
The hottest free agent.
Yep.
Sorry.
It was cool when he came out and destroyed the Hardys. Not because it was the Hardys, just because that was like, whoa. That was pretty cool. The other ones, nah, except for much later on when he did with the Hogan thing with wiping the blood on his chest, which was great. But the Hardys one was the most impactful, I felt.
Indeed. The second kickoff match, which was actually a match, and wasn't just completely squash bullshit, Cameron versus Naomi. Some research may need to be done on this one because what?
I said it's the two Funked Actors fighting. You're using the term actual match loosely.
Well, compared to Fandango versus Adam Rose, yes, this was an actual match. And I can't believe I just said that, but yes.
I'd rather watch the Finger Poke of Doom.
Good for you. But some research may need to be done on this because what the hell were they wearing? I mean, was this supposed to be like a theme match or some shit? Because they came out, I was like, what are you two wearing? The fuck? You can look up images for that because I am not going to try to describe it. But basically, Cameron wins with a roll-up. It was basically standard heel versus face stuff with, Cameron really not doing anything except a couple power moves here and there, or like trying to act like she's a little more powerful than Naomi. And a lot of the match was her spent trying to get away from Naomi, and at one point she tried to go up the ramp, and Naomi went after her. So yeah, Cameron still sucks. They're not letting her do fucking anything. Naomi actually looked pretty good. She was pretty crisp out there. I mean, again, they didn't have her do a lot of moves, but she was the one that actually mounted an offense because she was actually doing moves, and they were pretty smooth. They were pretty crisp. I have to give her credit. Because Cameron, one, it looks like the feud is probably going to go for at least another month. So, because I'm guessing the feud's probably going to end with Naomi defeating her at some point. So yeah, that was pretty much the kickoff.
Okay.
So I'll let Jim go with the first match because that was his favorite match.
Yes, we opened up with the Usos versus the Wyatts for the Tag Team Championships in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
No.
As was predictable, the first 2 falls went pretty quickly. Both were off a roll-up. The Wyatts isolated, I believe, Jimmy Uso and beat the crap out of him for a good 5 or 6 minutes. Then after Jay got tossed out and I guess knocked out outside the ring before the match, I missed the first minute or two. And then they had Jimmy isolated and Luke Harper got a pinfall on him. And then Jimmy managed to finally get a tag into Jay, just barely. They put up a little bit of offense, and Jay managed to, rather quickly after the tag, roll Harper up for a pinfall to even it back out. And then the remainder of the match was basically just a lot of really back and forth, a lot of close calls, a lot of kickouts, a lot of crazy moves. The Usos busted out some double kicks to the face. They did a double splash to the top. Harper was launching out of the ring. There was, Eric Rowan went up top at one point. I mean, it was crazy.
It ended with a double splash.
It ended with the double splash, yeah, with the Usos to retain the titles. I thought it was a great match. Just every time you thought it was going to end, just no kick out, no kick out. You could see the guys in the front row of the audience behind couldn't believe it either. So it was really a good match. I liked it. I thought it was match of the night, but I know the Divas title match is also considered to be very close.
Mm-hmm. I felt that the previous matches between the Usos and the Wyatts were better, and I think it's partly because we've seen them fight before multiple times and recently, so it didn't feel as fresh as it could have been. Whereas, like for instance, the first time they fought at whatever the last pay-per-view was, that was a hell of a match. Money in the Bank, yeah, that was a hell of a match. And I think part of what made that match so good is because I don't know if anybody really expected the Wyatts to be able to put on the kind of show they did. I certainly wasn't. I was like, wow, these guys are actually kind of able to put on a show. I'm impressed. And it was just an overall good match. This match was good. I just don't think it was up to the level of their previous matches. What do you think, Will?
Like I said, I thought it was a good match. I didn't get behind it 100% as match of the night, only because it fell into that category of one, it was 2 out of 3 falls, and B, they'd already done 2 other matches, so it felt a tad repetitive with certain spots and stuff. Like it's like, eh. However, it was still a quality showcase, if that makes sense. So it was still pretty good. I still liked that match.
Mm-hmm.
The other problem though is the other feuds with them had been built up better than this month's, because I mentioned in the past, this entire pay-per-view, Rick, felt like filler.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the 100 episodes of filler pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You laugh. That's pretty much what this pay-per-view was.
No, I will say the matchup of the night for me was the next. I think it was the next one, or it was one of the ones afterwards. It was Paige versus AJ, which that was a fucking awesome match, and there was some great moves in that matchup. I loved that matchup. Yeah, AJ won, not Paige. I wanted Paige to win, but I still liked the match. Like, I'm sorry, that kick that Paige did to AJ when she was stood up and came off the ropes, and it was like boom, and it was sort of like a super kick, but because AJ's so short, her leg was sort of pointed downwards a bit. But still, the impact of it was like boom, and ironically, it looked more powerful when we saw the bro kick in recent months. Because it was like boom, instantly fucking down.
That match was actually pretty good, but I still maintain, at least in my opinion, I felt Paige was a little sloppy in this match, and I don't know if it's because she had to modify a few things because women, or if she was legitimately sloppy. Because like at one point, AJ's I can't remember if she was. I think she was still inside the ring, but against the ropes, and Paige runs at her, and she's supposed to do that thing where, Richter, where the superstars they'll dive at him and push both of them through the second rope.
Right.
To roll outside. She was supposed to do that, but it had no impact because to me it felt really, really sloppy. Like, instead of hitting her and then rolling out together, it was more, okay, hold on to me, let me get outside the ring, and then I'm going to pull you outside with me so we don't hurt each other. I'm like, there's no impact to that. That looked really sloppy. Kind of like Mole, like later in the night when the thing you mentioned about Kofi, about when he was holding on to fucking Cesaro and then flip back up, it would look kind of like that. It's like, huh?
See, I didn't think any of the Paige v AJ match was sloppy. Ironically, I thought that was better than any of the guy matches we saw tonight. Which makes me sad because they don't give the Divas enough props, but that was a great match.
I will say it was better than the Superstar matches, with the possible exception being the tag match. I do think this match was probably better than the tag match, but they're kind of up there. But yeah, I don't know. Just to me, Paige felt a little sloppy. Mole attributed that to her fighting style, which, okay, fair enough, but then the Superstars who battled off, they use the same style. I'm like, you just kind of contradicted yourself because those superstars are really crisp and technical in the ring.
To be fair, as me and Tiff joked about, we also atoned it to your racism.
Well, I can't argue with that one.
Him?
Seriously, Paige is from the UK. He hates her. Adam Rose has a UK accent. Suddenly he can't talk.
I don't hate Paige.
Sheamus is US champion. Wade Barrett was Intercontinental, and Jeff said, WWE's maybe no longer care about those titles.
Well, they made me no longer care about the titles because A, I don't like Sheamus, and B, Barrett doesn't have the title anymore. When he had the title, I cared about it, and then he went and injured himself, and now I don't care. Although, given who the champ is now, I kind of care.
Yeah, which we joked just because of how much it builds up. It seems like you're racist against, I'm going to say Europeans, because Sheamus technically isn't from the UK.
Right.
He is the Marcus, though.
In all fairness to that argument, when you were having the discussion earlier regarding Paige's fighting style being a unique British fighting style, looking a little more rough and tumble, I believe he also basically already ignored mention of the British Bulldog.
Yep, which is fine.
Again, another superstar who's very technical and very crisp in the ring.
Until the Attitude Era, they put him in jeans and pissed him away, but still.
Pretty much, yeah. All right. Jimmy, did you want to take the third match, or did you not care about the third match?
Let's see, what was the third match here? I got the list.
Rusev versus Swagger.
That was okay, I guess. I was kind of shocked that Rusev won. I believe, as Mo pointed out, it was Mirror Universe Rocky 3.
I thought it was bullshit that he won because they just basically buried Swagger, which I'm like, no, this should have been the feud that brought Swagger back into the spotlight, the limelight, because they just face turned him, and it's like there was no build up for this feud because after Swagger came out on Raw to be like, Rusev, I'm coming for you. He disappears for 2 weeks. I'm like, really? And then he comes into this match, and he fucking loses. I'm like, wow, why does he still have a job?
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, like I said, Mirror Universe Rocky 4. Mirror Universe Rocky 3 would be WrestleMania 2, in which fucking Clubber Lang and Thunder Lips both win.
True.
And I cheered.
True. But okay, Rocky 4. Sorry.
Yeah, the match was pretty
I
good.
for a Clubber
Did not like
Lang
the
reference. I never get to mention Clubber Lang.
No,
There
you
you
know.
go. Clubber Lang's mama.
Yep, and Thunder Lips.
But yeah, those are pretty much my notes for
But yeah,
that.
they're pretty much building Rusev up to be this unstoppable monster. To what end, I don't know. But they're basically they're really heavily pushing Rusev as a superstar. Whether they're hoping people will inevitably cheer him and he'll face her, I don't know. But they really want to push Rusev right now. I don't know if they're gonna have Swagger come back and feud with them further, or if they have somebody else in mind that's inevitably gonna put Rusev down that they want to make bigger. Like if they're building him up to be like an enemy for Roman Reigns or something. I don't know.
The thing is, it doesn't work.
I will say, as a feud, I felt this feud was probably the best built up for the month. Because you got Jack Swagger face turning, the whole build up, and I'm sorry, that matchup, I kind of liked the matchup, and Jack Swagger really fucking sold it at the end when he looked fucking dead. He looked unconscious and dead.
He did, up until the point Rusev put him in the ring, because if you look at it, you can see Rusev didn't put him in the ring. Swagger put himself in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's always the case.
I know, but still. That, and you could tell when he got in once he was in the ring, Swagger set himself up for the accolade. Because he rolled like 3 times. I'm like, you're supposed to be dead. How are you rolling 3 times in the ring?
I would argue he was dead or unconscious, but upon Rusev picking him up, that would be like me slapping you if you were asleep. But no, I like the matchup. I liked Jack Swagger being dead at the end, and I loved fucking Rusev locking the move on at the end. And you're just like, someone has to come and help him at this point. Come on, someone has to help him. Nope, they didn't.
Nope.
I was saying, it doesn't work if what they're going for is trying to build him up as a monster and stuff. There is no reason now for him to win another match. I mean, unless he legitimately wins the match, because he's already lost a match. He already has a tarnish on his record. There is no point to it. It's still a loss on his record.
How many times does WWE do that, though? They still haven't been lost by pinfall.
Admittedly, I hate it every time they do that.
I do as well, Rick. I hate that every time, but I understand it. I'm like,
The thing is, they usually address it. They haven't addressed it. They just glossed over it because it was Randy Orton that cost him the match. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, it still works, though, because even if he's lost, he's still a monster heel.
Yeah.
Oh, at this point, Swagger should just quit. Just fucking cut your losses, Jack Swagger. If you're listening to this, cut your losses and fucking quit, because they don't respect you in WWE. They obviously don't give a shit about you because they've wasted you time and time and time and time again.
Or could it also be because no one came out and helped him at the end? Could this be a continuation of the feud for SummerSlam for the American hero to rise up against adversity and actually conquer the Russian monster?
That'd be awesome.
I would say yes if it wasn't for the fact that this whole storyline is about Rusev destroying all these American heroes, and Swagger's supposed to come out and be this American hero, and he destroys him. No, I would say if they continue this feud, they just ruined Rusev. They ruined his gimmick completely. Because at this point, with his gimmick, with what he's been doing, he needs to move on to somebody else now. Otherwise, the gimmick falls apart.
Yeah, his gimmick is he's the big monster guy. Well, he faced Big E multiple times, but it's like he's the big monster guy. And if Jack Swagger comes out and challenges the pride of Russia, he's got to stand up.
True.
Which I hope they do that, because I would like to see Swagger come back and conquer him. That'd be great.
That would be great.
I like Swagger.
Indeed.
I like Swagger too.
We the people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I just did not like what they did with this feud. I just thought they pissed all over everything.
I would also be remiss if I didn't mention when we were talking then, I got an IM from Richter saying Thunder Lips is also the new name for Meg Ryan, sorry. Oh, come on. How often do you get a Meg Ryan Botox joke on WXR?
Okay, then.
Just once.
Yeah, considering Meg Ryan hasn't been relevant in about, 8 years or so?
When have any of my references been relevant? But I will say to you, Richter, challenge accepted.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to talk about this here, even though it happened throughout the entire night. Before the Rusev v. Swagger match, Rollins was cutting a promo, about his upcoming match with Ambrose, and then Ambrose attacked him, and Triple H had him escorted from the building. And then after the Rusev v. Swagger match, Rollins came out and demanded his hand be raised, and he be, crowned the winner of the match that never took place. Yeah, basically by forfeit. And then Ambrose attacked him at ringside, and security and refs tried to keep them apart. But Ambrose kept attacking him until finally Triple H came out and was like, I want him forcibly removed or whatever. And so they carried him. Like, one guy grabbed one leg, one guy grabbed another leg, and basically started to cart him away. And then Rollins started jumping him and started fighting. And eventually he left, and, Triple H helped Rollins hammer him. He's the winner, And at that point, I was like, okay, this is fucking retarded. The crowd was right. I have to agree with the crowd at this point, where they started chanting, let them fight! Let them fight! I'm like, okay, they're supposed to have a match. And, obviously they're ready to tear each other apart. They have great energy and great chemistry together. Let them fight. Enough with the cock tease. You've had this buildup of Rollins and Ambrose. Basically Ambrose wanting to get revenge on Rollins. And now it's going to lead all to this, and now you're not going to do anything. But I was willing to say, okay, you know what? Fair enough. Maybe they're building it up. They're going to do it at SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is apparently going to be their big pay-per-view, and they want to do it at SummerSlam. It's like, okay, if it goes out this way, that's fine. And then later on, near the end of the pay-per-view, they have Rollins before the main event. They have Rollins leaving the arena, and Dean Ambrose comes out of the trunk of his car and assaults him. I'm just like, oh. And Mole, I believe, said something along the lines of, okay, this is stupid.
Yep, which, two things. One, I haven't seen anything as overblown as this feud since Meg Ryan's lips. Ding. But no. Second thing, yeah, Rick, he came out of Seth Rollins' car, which means either A, he had locked himself in the trunk of the car for the last 15, 20 minutes or so and didn't die or at least pass out from lack of air, or B, he knew Seth Rollins was coming out then and had enough time to pick the lock on a car he doesn't own, get inside, and understood that the car would have a latch to let it out, which not all cars do. None of it made sense, and I was like, yeah, they overused the crap out of that too much, to the point where I'm like, it's getting a bit silly at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, it's reaching Saturday morning cartoon levels of silliness.
Yeah.
And let us point out, that he went through all that to get into the trunk of Seth Rollins' car, when, as I was along the I was right next to his car, there was an ambulance that he could have just as easily jumped out of.
Well, he didn't know that was going to be there.
Or, I would have liked, which would have been a little sick, and I don't know if people would like it or not, and don't say insert PG crap or people use as an excuse nowadays, he should have assaulted fucking Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose should have assaulted Seth Rollins from behind, put him in the boot of the car, reversed the car out, and then gone and got one of the fucking trucks and done what the NWO did to The Rock. That would have just been whoa.
Yeah.
No, so Seth Rollins gets the Ambrose, he gets the best, he beats the crap out of him, locks him in the car. You just see him pull out a phone and send a text message. The camera just pans over, and there's Kevin Nash in the truck.
Yeah. Well, hell, why didn't you just lock him in the trunk of the car and let Stacy drive it?
Ha! Ouch. That's a low blow even for you, Mo.
Nothing's a low blow for me. I'm literally the guy that mentioned killing Joey Lawler through heart disease just so he could save some money on the budget.
That's true.
That's the sickest thing I've seen since, well, Meg Ryan's lips.
Yay!
Yes.
Is that, can that be the title of this podcast, Meg
Yes.
Ryan?
It's gonna make no sense, but sure, why not?
No, I was kidding. I just thought we were going to keep it with the title of the week or the pay-per-view.
If the title's supposed to be based off a line, the title of this podcast should be ... since Meg Ryan's lips.
Yeah. Something like that.
But I'll go ahead and take the next match since I did basically mention it, talk about it earlier in the Raw segment.
Shouldn't it be, if this is right, shouldn't Jim take this? Is this his favorite?
Yeah, but I figured I already mentioned it, so I might as well just continue with it.
I'm cool. Let Marcus have it.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure. I know, like,
Let
we
him-
always
let
give
him-
the Undertaker, him, Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him do it. I'll take the Battle Royal.
Just like we always give Richter, Darren Young.
Yay.
Although it would be appropriate if Jim took it, because Jim is the master of repeating what's already been said.
That's true.
But anyway, match number 4 is Bray Wyatt v. Jericho.
Repeated that much since Meg Ryan lips jokes.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt v. Jericho.
It's
Jericho
now meta.
wins, interestingly enough. This was actually a good match. I actually enjoyed this match, to be honest.
Yes.
The Wyatt family gets ejected by the
Big
ref,
shock.
which I have to say, okay, Luke Harper is decent in the ring. He can't. He got ejected by Jericho climbing up on the ring apron to get back in the ring, and Luke Harper's like laying there next to the ring apron because he got like knocked down. He sits up, basically gets to his knees and grabs Jericho's leg blatantly in front of the ref, and then acts surprised when he gets thrown out. I'm like, you did it in front of the ref, man.
Yep.
I'm like,
In all-
couldn't you have done something else?
Well, in all fairness, the thing is, that's supposed to be part of the character, because if you notice during the earlier match, during the tag team match, JBL kept talking up the fact that he wasn't totally sure the Wyatts even understood what was going on in the match or had a, and like I said, I can't imagine them having strategy meetings. So he was talking about the mentality of the Wyatt family, Harper and Rowan, and exactly, how they act and react to things. And he was kind of playing up that, these guys they're not totally all there. They're good in the ring, but they're not all there mentally. So it might just be that, he was trying to help, but it didn't occur to him that, in front of the ref's going to get me disqualified.
I'm sorry. The greatest person not understanding what's going on in the ring is still Kamala.
But yeah, I was like, they could have done something else to make it a little bit better instead of the blatant, I'm going to do it in front of the ref. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
By the way, this won't happen. This won't happen. But can I just say and just mention how hilariously almost appropriate it would be if one week the Wyatt family were there and they came out and announced that they had some new family members, and their new family members were Jesse and Festus.
No. Their
By
new
the way-
family members needs to be Meg Ryan's lips and William Dafoe's rape face. Just for 2
Managed by, so good.
There you go.
With guest ring enforcer Jeff Goldblum.
Ah,
Put him on commentary.
This is a wrestling ring.
yeah.
Yeah, imagine
Jim,
him on
can you tell-
commentary.
Jim, can you tell me how the match ended? Because I kind of missed what Jericho did to win the match. I just kind of looked up and he had won, and I was like, wait, Jericho won?
Code
Yeah,
breaking.
basically they beat the crap out of each other outside the ring. They got back in the ring. Jericho almost got a pinfall. They got up, exchanged some blows back and forth until Jericho code broke his ass.
Fair enough.
I would describe this matchup. I don't know if it's going to be 100% accurate, but I'm going to describe it, Richter, as Optimus Prime riding Grimlock. The whole build-up for this was shit. No one really gave a shit, but it was a few moments of, whoa, this is awesome, because the matchup itself was good, but the actual build-up for it was so shit it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. By the way, can somebody explain to me how basically a living legend like Chris Jericho beating Bray Wyatt is a huge upset? Because apparently in Michael Cole it's a huge upset.
Yeah.
Because Bray Wyatt was pretty hot and it dominated their feud, and last thing Jericho dominated was people's ears with his shitty music.
I'm pretty sure he dominated. I'm pretty sure he dominated the Miz's face with his code breaker.
I will
Not his
admit,
face, his moneymaker.
His moneymaker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just like when The Rock defeated John Cena. That was considered a huge upset because he was just an actor.
Ah.
I will admit though, when Bray Wyatt first interrupted Jericho, I was like, yeah, this is fucking retarded. Why is this feud happening? But I'll admit that the prospect of those two fighting, I was like, as a match, that's a pretty damned good match. I would want to see that match. But I was like, oh, this feud is stupid.
I would like to have seen that match and that feud if it hadn't come on the pigtails or whatever I say of Jericho interrupting Miz, because that was a feud that the second they did that, I was like, shut up, I want to see this. And then WWE's like, you're mad, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jericho.
Jericho.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to see the Miz feud. That would have been awesome.
But speaking of the Miz, I will say, Rick, we had an IC Championship Battle Royal in which the Miz won and became Intercontinental Champion.
He did.
Oh.
He edged it, by the way.
I had two favorites for that.
Okay.
My two favorites were, well, the ones I wanted to win, I should say, not necessarily favorites, but the two I wanted to win was either the Miz or Bo Dallas. Which, the second Bo Dallas got eliminated, I was like, fuck you, Sheamus.
Yeah, I will say the cool thing. No, number one, before we get into this, I like to say this is the Battle Royal happened in between the Jericho Bray Wyatt match and the Battle Royal was the Rollins Ambrose parking lot segment. And I just want to mention in regards to the parking lot segment, yes, this is getting more and more stupid every time this whole Ambrose Rollins thing keeps happening. But I will just say, I just want to give credit where credit is due. JBL was working his ass off to sell that.
Yep.
This is reaching Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner levels of craziness now.
Because JBL's on commentary like, what the hell is Ambrose still doing here? What does it take for this man to get arrested? What the hell? Where are the police? He's just screaming his head off.
Yep. And you know what else is getting stupid and repetitive?
What's that?
Jim bringing up things we previously discussed.
Aha!
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're welcome.
Back to the Battle Royal. I liked how awesome it opened up after the competitors were in the ring with a promo from Bad News Barrett, who had some bad news that it didn't matter who won the Battle Royal because eventually, as the sands of time run out, they would get their comeuppance in the form of a bullhammer to the face from him, Bad News Barrett.
Yeah, which I will say, I did like the Battle Royal. It was stupid, but parts of it was so stupid, Rick, it was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Kofi had not one, but two stupid fucking
Gandalf
thing. Getting into the thing. I wouldn't even count them as Gandalf saves. I'd count maybe one if you include Big E rescuing him on his shoulders. The first one was literally he rolls out, sort of Shawn Michaels style with Cesaro on the apron.
Right.
He pulls himself back up, and you see Cesaro grab his legs and pull him over him and into the ring. And I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't he just punch him in the head and knock him off?
Yeah, he was hanging off of Cesaro's waist, by the way. Right?
Yeah. The Big E one just seemed pointless because it didn't result in Cesaro being eliminated like it seemed like it was going to. It was like, that seemed like it didn't even need to be there at this point.
Yeah, basically Cesaro threw Kofi over the top and Big E had just been eliminated, so Kofi landed on Big E's shoulders. And Big E was kind of holding him there, and so basically it was like they were playing chicken in a swimming pool. And basically Kofi on Big E's shoulders was fighting Cesaro, who was standing in the ring.
Did Cesaro actually hit Big E at one point?
Yeah, Cesaro hit Big E in the face at one point, and then instead of knocking Kofi down again, he suplexed him back into the fucking ring.
Yeah, which I will say, like Marcus touched upon, I did like the way Miz won.
Yeah.
See, I didn't because okay, I can agree with how they wanted him to win. The problem I had was how they had him go about doing it, because they had him constantly knocked out of the ring, either over the second rope or under the bottom rope. And I'm like, after the second time they did that, and they did this like fucking 5 times during the match, Richter.
Mm-hmm.
5 times. After the second time, I was like, Miz is winning. Because I knew what they were going for. And I'm like, if you're going to have him win like that, don't hammer it in. Yeah. Don't have him get knocked out 5 times. And as Jim pointed out, if we're supposed to forget about The Miz, don't constantly cut to him outside the ring.
But I would argue the fact they did it multiple times, not the cutting to him, the other part, is actually a good thing. It's like what Bret Hart mentioned on one of his ones where he had to do a blade job where he'd constantly touch his head through most of the match, so you don't know at what point the blade job's coming. The fact the Miz kept getting knocked out the ring that way means you didn't know which time was actually going to become the permanent one and whether or not he was going to get back in and it happen again, like a hilarious running joke. Sort of like the Royal Rumble where Mick Foley got eliminated 3 fucking times as all 3 of his personas.
I suppose for, quote, current fans, unquote, like some of the younger generation of like this generation, yeah, that would work. But if you put someone like me or Richter on the couch watching this, after the second time he does it, we know he's going to fucking edge it because we've seen it before.
To be fair, we know that, but like I mentioned with they did it with the 3 faces of Foley, they did it with Kyantai always being eliminated, they did it with the Royal Rumble where Austin and McMahon went backstage for all of it. I was like, okay, one of those two is definitely winning it. Mm-hmm. The second, they've always done that. They've always done the predictability. At least they're trying to hide it a little bit more. And I'd argue like maybe cut showing Miz on the floor was so people weren't like, no, it's not showing Miz. It's probably because he's going to win it. But that might actually be to throw people off, or to make it seem more legitimate, like he's hurt.
Maybe. And in all fairness, the other thing was that the thing is, Miz has done that before in Battle Royals where he jumped into the last minute and probably lost.
Yep.
So it's not like there was a guarantee he was going to win. I'm saying to myself, okay. I'm saying to myself, because when Bo Dallas got thrown out, I'm like, okay, Ziggler and Sheamus. And at first I was like, oh, who's going to win? Then I saw a cut to the announce table. I said, oh, right, Miz is still out there. Okay. Now is Miz going to run in and win this, or is he going to run in and get promptly thrown out by Sheamus?
Yeah, get this one, Richter. Okay, so it came down to do fucking Sheamus, and who was he fighting?
Dolph Ziggler. And they stop, they look at each other because they're both faces, and they point at the IC title, which is at ringside. Now, of course, and smartly so, they cut to the IC title, which is fine. The problem was, The Miz was sitting right next to the IC title on the floor.
Mm.
He was laying on the floor in front of the announce table.
And it's just like, oh, couldn't you have framed that better?
Yeah. Which like I said, I think they threw in a few curveballs that some fans may have been confused. Because let's face it, we've seen all the shit they pull out before. But it's a case of I honestly think they threw some curveballs. Like, for example, showing the IC title, mentioning Sheamus having the US title, and throughout the night, at a few points in the night, they did mention the unifying of titles. Like with Jericho, they mentioned how he'd been the first undisputed title champion, unifying championships, and how hard it was. They also sort of announced it when we saw some of the people to do with the thing. So it was, you know what I mean? It seemed like maybe Sheamus was going to unify the titles.
As JBL and Michael Cole made sure to mention several occasions how Sheamus had never won Intercontinental Gold.
Yep. So I think they threw some curveballs, but yeah, to most of us, the older fans and stuff like that, we probably saw it coming. However, I also argue we see most of it coming. It's just a case of it was fun, and I like the way he won because that's so totally Miz at this point.
Yeah.
He wants all. He's not like Edge with the ultimate opportunist. Miz is more of he just wants the glory. He doesn't care about the work, which is slightly different if that makes sense. But it works for a heel.
It does. Also, I just want to tell Rick about one of the things I got a nice chuckle out of was they put all 20 however many guys in the ring. Opened up, Banner's back came out, did his promo, said he was gonna bullhammer the winner, win the title, like blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Bell rings. Immediately, every guy in the ring attacks the Great Khali.
Yep, and I will say the part I giggled at with that matchup, Rick, was straight away the two people I really didn't want in that matchup. I didn't mind Khali because big guys, battle royals, fair enough. But straight away, Khali grabs Xavier Woods, throws him out the ring like a piece of trash, and then literally within a second, Zack Ryder follows him.
Wow.
He literally throws Zack Ryder out. I was like, yep, okay, you got rid of the trash. Now, you had Ryback and stuff I don't like, but I didn't want the idea of one of the two like bottom of the barrel ones to get the belt because as much as they don't like Ryback, at least he's more credible than the other two.
And I think Matador Diego went out pretty quickly after that too.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And
Also,
I
will
really
say,
want
can we
Bo
by the
Dallas to win.
I did too. I thought he was going to when he was one of the last. He was like, "Oh, is Bo Dallas going to do it? Come on, I believe." But by the way, did we figure out what the hell Damian Sandow was supposed to be? Because he,
A
because we were
Florida tourist, it looked like, because he had
okay,
the
yeah,
typical like pattern shorts, the socks all the way up, like the knee-high socks. He even had suntan lotion across his nose and a straw hat.
and he had some funny looking goggles on. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
and a white, and a white,
And
I
a
think,
white beater.
and a white tank top. Which, yeah,
Yeah.
overall, it did look like he was meant to be probably like a Florida tourist.
Because they were in Tampa for
Yeah,
this
yeah, they were in Tampa, so it must have been that.
All right, and now
Well,
time
that
for the main event.
But you know what he should have? You know who he should have dressed up as? And I know
Who?
people would probably disagree, but I think it'd be fucking hilarious if if they'd left Damien Sandow to last, and because they're in Florida, you just heard if you smell what the Rock is cooking, and like he did with Vince when he came out like Miz did with a bald cap, a drawn-on eyebrow, and
Yes.
Yes,
That would be
would've been
awesome.
That would have been
$800
amazing.
shirt.
Yeah, like I said, leave him to last too, and like leave a gap in between. So like enough gap that you would actually believe. Wait, is this actually gonna be the Rock? It's like, oh fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
He comes out wearing the shirt. It's got a giant price tag on it, but you can clearly print it says $8, and he just drew 2 zeros on it with a pencil.
I would say yes if they wanted to push Sandow as a heel, but I think at this point they're kind of pushing him as a face.
They are, but the thing is, that would people would have gone, oh, but then as soon as Sandow came out, they would have gone, oh, it's Sandow.
Yeah, plus if I push him as a face and he did that, people at first probably would have been like, oh, fuck you. But when enough people would have been there, been like, oh, it's The Rock. Come on, he's referencing The Rock. Yeah, we need to beat that crap up.
Yeah.
True.
Which
I
would
think
have
it
been
would funny
fucking
if you did
hilarious.
that and somebody's like,
technically-
"It's The Rock," and somebody
No.
goes, "No, it's not, because they're here."
Yeah, no, if they're in Tampa, Florida, and they wanted to be meta, Damian Sandow should have come out dressed as an NXT superstar.
Oh, Rick,
Uh-huh.
based on the joke you just said then, how about if you'd heard if you smell what The Rock is cooking, and he'd come out dressed as Sputnik, so he was literally bringing it as a satellite?
That would have
Wow.
That'd be too meta. I think it'd confuse people. But man, we would die.
been
Now that you guys are mentioning this, one of these days, for one of his costumes and stuff, I don't know how they set it up or why they would do it, but I just want, when he comes out, he just hear, Rabudo! And he comes out dressed up as a Fruity Pebble.
Yeah, it's
like
like
a
based on
box,
the
a
fact,
box of Fruity Pebbles.
it's like based on the fact he still works or he's still in you know what I mean, good terms with WWE and stuff, and they do bring him back every now and again. It's like, Rick, I know for a fact, would you or would you not like it if, let's say, they were in Texas and he comes out as Austin with a bald cap and like a drawn-on goatee, and then you actually hear the glass shatter and the real Austin comes out?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because he'd come out, they'd go back and forth, they'd go back and forth, and the audience wouldn't know who to what, and then eventually they'd just drink a beer, and the real Austin would just stun him.
How hilarious would it be if Austin did come out and grabs the microphone and just goes, "You think you're Stone Cold?" And he grabs the microphone and goes, "What?"
That would have been amazing.
It's just those two saying "what" for like 5 minutes. That'd be almost as epic as Great Khali Umaga's exchange of words.
No, I remember that.
I loved that promo. It was so what the
That was
oh.
great.
Oh, now I want Damian Sandow to do the ultimate troll move.
You want him to come out as the Ultimate Warrior? Too soon, bro.
No, I want them. I want them to be in Texas, and all of a sudden the lights go out, and you just hear dong, dong, and he comes walking out in the Undertaker's robe. I think that'd be hilarious.
That'd be epic. Even more epic if he did it into a Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. He was winning Brock Lesnar, even better. He does that. He does that. And he comes out to the road. Everything's all in the ring. He's out doing like he's doing the Undertaker poses and everything. and then you just hear, "I am an American badass," and Taker comes out of the bike, he just kicks his ass.
Yeah. We need more of him dressing it. We need him to dress as actual superstars more.
Yes.
I agree.
But anyway, I believe we have the main event left.
Yes, the main event is left. Fatal
Before
4-way
we-
match.
before this
John Cena defending
dissolves
against
too
Roman
much
Reigns,
into-
Randy Orton, and Kane.
Yeah, I said before this dissolves too much into Damien Sandow costumes and Meg Ryan lips talks.
Mhm.
That was awesome.
If he dresses
Meg
up
Ryan's
as
lips
Meg Ryan,
Awesome. Sorry,
is it
Will, I
all
had to throw
over?
that in.
I agree with Rick. He needs to dress up as Meg Ryan's lips.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also agree with Rick. Meg Ryan needs to come out to host Raw dressed as the Joker.
Wow.
Then the camera just pans up. You just see Sting in the rosters, like in the Raptors. Like, man, is that how I looked in TNA?
Rick,
Yeah.
your next challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to make me a picture of pixelated Megan Fox, like your avatar we always use, and a Pokemon box underneath with "She used kiss with her lips. It's super effective." But yes, the main event.
Anyway, the main event here. Pretty standard main event.
It was an okay match. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was
okay.
great, but
No.
it was the filler pay-per-view. Just like we're treating it with all of our podcast dissolved into past references and past
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean,
There you
they-
go. That's the title for our podcast. Filler.
There you go.
Filler? I hardly knew her.
Because it's filler. Thank you, Richter.
Banter. We need to bring that back. Haha, banter.
Now, I'm wondering if Richter just randomly come up with that reference, or if, like me, he remembers it from the show of a reviewer who shall remain nameless.
No, it rhymed.
Okay, fair enough.
He's like, filler, and I was like, oh, thriller. Hey, there we go.
Fair enough.
This match basically degraded into a spot fest at the end with Cena winning it. Retaining
Yeah,
the
pretty
title.
much. Basically, it was pretty much okay. Oh, look, Reigns and Cena and Orton and Kane, but Orton and Kane can't get along. Oh, Cena and Reigns can't get along. Oh, we're going back and forth.
No, Cena and Reigns got along just fine. They just wanted to fight each other, so that's why they were constantly attacking the other two. They're like, yeah, as long as they're in the ring, I don't have beef with you. Let's go kick their asses, Cena. With you, Reigns.
I just saw the repeated moments that Reigns and Cena were just exchanging fists back and forth.
Yeah, that's when they actually finally got to fight before they got interrupted for like the 5th time.
Yeah, well, and it ended up with a series of offense where Roman Reigns dodged Kane, speared him, went for a pinfall. Orton broke it up, RKO'd Reigns. Cena slid in the ring before Orton could even do anything. He got AA'd on top of Kane, and then Cena pinned Kane.
And there was a slightly awesome moment where Reigns, I believe, locked in a single leg crab on Orton, and then Cena slid in the ring and locked in half an STF on Orton's upper body, and there was a double submission going on. And I was like, cool, double submission.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, I'm sorry, but Cena's STF is getting sloppier and sloppier every time I see it. Like he puts the inlocks movement, and his hands are like freaking like 8 inches in front of the face of the dude he's supposedly holding. Like they're on the mat.
Was the SCFU ever not sloppy?
Touche.
And fuck it, Rick didn't see the matchup. Before the matchup, Rick, Roman Reigns was found unconscious backstage.
Huh?
Then during the matchup, Roman Reigns was out in the ring, and basically Cena reached for him, grabbed his hair, and as he pulled it off, it was a wig, and it'd been Damien Sandow the entire match.
That would be hilarious.
What a twist!
That would be amazing.
But yes, so Cena retains and celebrates as we see Roman Reigns looking dejected outside the ring. And we end the show with the failure of plans A and B.
And Plan C was already out the door, so yeah.
No, Plan C is being brought to Raw tomorrow night by Paul Heyman.
Oh, that's right. Because I thought their third plan after fucking Orton and Kane was Rollins, but Rollins left.
That plan was screwed the moment that Rollins won the briefcase.
Yeah, which means it was still a plan. It got messed up, which means it should have been Plan D.
Don't blame me. I'm going by Paul Heyman's letter logic.
And actually, if Rollins had been smart about it and not, tried to fight fucking Ambrose, the plan would have worked because Ambrose got kicked out of the building.
Wait a minute. It's Paul Heyman, and it's Plan C. This is obvious where they're going. No? No one? No one's
Where
going to
they
say
going?
it?
In my eyes, what do you see?
Nope. I was thinking C for Conqueror, as in
Ah.
Rangerbrock the Conqueror.
Yeah.
There
I
you
think-
go.
There you go. I was thinking C as in his client, Brock Lesnar, who conquered the streak at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But anyway, yes, that was the week in wrestling. Does anybody want to have anything else to contribute? No? Okay, Richter, take us home.
All right, so that was all the happenings that we liked for this week in Raw, which includes the latest pay-per-view. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this week, and next week it will be Saturday, correct?
That is correct.
All
Yep,
right.
and tonight is the 1 week a month it switches.
All
And
right.
also, in response to your question, I would just like to quote tonight's running joke. You're welcome.
All right, so
When the joke was Meg Ryan's lips.
they are.
Actually, Richter, there's one thing we haven't done tonight yet.
We
I
haven't
wanna
described Meg Ryan giving someone a blowjob and with the size of her lips, it acting like a plunger.
Well, aside from that.
Oh.
But yeah. But no, I was thinking,
It's
Richter,
so
what,
real. Yeah.
what is your opinion of what you've heard tonight about like the pay-per-view and stuff?
It sounds like the pay-per-view got worse as it went on. It sounds like the tag match and the Divas match was cool, and then it just kept getting worse as it went
Pretty
on.
much.
Oh, what do you think about what you heard about Raw and Total Divas?
Total Divas, that was surprising. I didn't think you'd like it or anything, but and I didn't know it was like that there was a mix. I thought it was all just like stage stuff. But it sounds like there was some real stuff, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Raw sounded okay. It sounded like last week's was better.
Last week's was pretty much better.
Mm-hmm.
The best this week's was boosted by Sting.
Yep.
But then again, this week's was the Raw before the pay-per-view, so really, what did you expect?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
To be fair, I always think the Raw before the pay-per-view should be the best one
It
of
should.
that given month. The one after the pay-per-view should be shit, in my opinion. At least that's what it used to be, because it's the ending of feuds and the start of new feuds. So it's a little like like a rough start. But when
Also-
going to pay-per-view, it should be all fucking hatred and beatdowns and death, destruction, and cats in hats.
Well,
Yeah, but
the
the
one-
problem... Oh, go ahead, Richter.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the one before it I think should be the best, just because then it gets you hyped up to watch the pay-per-view. And
Yeah.
also another reason the one after it is usually or should be the worst is because if you have any of the matches that have extreme slants, you probably have injuries. So some of the people should
Yeah.
not be competing the night after.
Not to mention in modern WWE, you also have that. Oh, well, we can't let anybody to look bad, so now we have to have 3 rematches from last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would also like to say, yeah, in the past, and usually the Raw before the pay-per-view is supposed to be good, but that's before WWE Creative came up with the bright policy of, hey, let's not book half the card until the Raw before the pay-per-view.
Yep. Which was stupid. Let's only book the title pitch and the rest.
Exactly.
In all fairness, 4 matches for this pay-per-view were announced this past Tuesday at the SmackDown tapings.
Wow.
Yeah, the only way some of this booking could make sense is if they cut backstage and Triple H literally walks into a locker room, bows down, and says, "Okay, tell me the matches for the next pay-per-view. Come on, you're always good at this." And then it's the fucking childish, stupid talking hat from Harry Potter that just sorts the matches at the last possible moment. Like, Dean Ambrose versus Tatanka. Wait, is he still on our roster? He is now.
Yeah. No.
Spoken.
No, if you want to explain it, no. He goes back to the locker room. It's not the hat. He goes back to the locker room, bows down after the matches, and it pans over, and it's Vince Russo.
Yeah. Or it's a load of if it's a load of humanities pushing balls with different wrestlers' names on.
It's manatees selecting it with balls. Yes.
Yes.
But
No.
Mo, I was just thinking we'd be remiss if not mentioning this, and I believe you're starting to find it annoying and stupid. The Wyatt theme song.
Yeah, but I mentioned that in the past as well.
Yeah.
I don't mind that theme song. I just don't like he's got the whole world in his hands. Just because, like I mentioned in the past, first time he sung it, cool. Second time, okay, kind of cool. Third time, okay, you're going a little too far now. And now they're even using it as the beginning of their song. It's too cliched because they're supposed to be unpredictable, but they're not unpredictable. If every time they come out, you pretty much guarantee you're going to get a sing song.
True.
Yeah, but at least tonight with and they seem to only be doing it with the tag team, the Harper and Rowan, because Bray still uses the standard stuff. But at least with this one, unlike the last time they did this, they didn't play the whole song. They just played like a verse and cut it. And I do have to say, I think the way they did it tonight was a lot better than they did it in the past, because tonight they actually used a clip of the kids singing it.
Yeah, they did. Which
kid voice, which I think kind of worked.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. It was better when it's done in the past. My only thing is it shouldn't have been done at all.
True, I can agree with
Because,
that.
like I said, you can't have a character who's meant to be unpredictable be the most predictable person on the roster. Ironically, Dean Ambrose has been more unpredictable by coming out of a car he doesn't own than the Wyatt making a sing song.
Am I the only one who thinks it'd be awesome and thinks it'd be a good idea if Sting teams up with Ambrose when Sting comes in to kind of boost up Ambrose a little bit? Because they're both unpredictable, and I think the two of them together would be fucking amazing.
That'd be interesting.
Like I said, I want to see Sting get brought in if they ever bring him in, but I want him to be used as a GM or something. I think that'd work. Or hell, I like listening to Sting speak. Replace Jerry Lawler with Sting.
That'd be cool. I want that. Okay then.
Does he come to the like when it's time to announce? Does he just descend from the rafters?
Yes. And
he wants to win, just points at him.
Yeah, he just spends the entire match pointing with a baseball bat. And just in doing that, just pointing with a baseball bat, it's a lot more original and a lot more creative, a lot more intelligent, and a lot more natural than Jerry Lawler.
There you go. They're gonna do it. The Sting's music hits, and he comes down from the rafters on the baseball bat, and he comes up from the rafters like in the crowd, almost behind the commentators, like in the clear crowd area, and he lands behind them, and he just takes the bat and he just taps Jerry Lawler on the shoulder, and Jerry freaks out so much he has a heart attack and dies. And Sting just sits down in the chairs.
Yeah, but I will say just because we're gonna be wrapping it up, one thing I've been discussing heavily tonight with the others is before we went to record and stuff, I honestly think, and I just want to get this out there because it's been a thought of the week to do with wrestling, the Fabulous Freebirds or Michael Hayes on his own, or both, they need to be in the Hall of Fame now. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for Michael Hayes not being in the Hall of Fame, but Drew Carey and Coco Beware making the list first? What? This is a man who, the Fabulous Freebirds, literally helped pioneer some of the stuff we got with Stables.
Yeah.
And he's the man that when he went and worked backstage, gave Austin the Stunner.
Yeah.
Yep.
The move that pretty much defined an era.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but freaking, what the
Freakazoid?
shit. No. I'm just saying, freaking like creepy pedophile. Fucking Pat Patterson's in the Hall of Fame, and the Fabulous Freebirds in the Hall of Fame. What the hell?
Yeah. A creepy pedophile just made that comment.
Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. I called Jim a creepy pedophile.
Hashtag I agree with them all.
Fuck you too.
Hashtag phenophile. Now trending.
What?
What the fuck?
Phenophile. Now trending.
Okay then.
Okay then.
Jim doesn't want Fenophile trending.
Theoretically, that's not a bad thing because Fenophile just means that it's people who are fans of me. So.
Oh, it means you rise from the ashes to have sex with kids.
No, it doesn't. Good God. You're a
Come with
sick
me,
man.
kids. Come with me, kids. I have power keys.
Good night, everybody.
No. Richter, end it now, please.
Oh. Finish it. All right. I'd like to thank
Time.
everyone for
Richter's
joining
Zord.
us. We need Daddy Zord power.
Joe was on the Red Ranger doorway, made you touch him in the morph suit.
Oh shit! Okay, this one has to get this.
Oh man. So thanks everyone for joining us. Gonna be more craziness next week on Saturday night, so please join us then and laugh your ass off. Good night, everybody.
Jim is Jimmy the podcast.